we get to talk about the riveting subject of email. This guy, whether you like him or not, has definitely changed a lot of stuff. Globally, politically, and particularly in my pocketbook. So I was in the survival preparedness space. We still are. We own survivallife.com, the American Gun Association, a bunch of political, conservative political blogs and some other properties like that. And business just clipping along, man. We're just crushing it, right? And this guy gets elected. And everybody overnight went, oh, we're all good. And I don't know, is anybody else here in the survival preparedness space at all? Yeah, one guy, still, right? Not a guy, sorry. So I'm looking over and I can't see. The lights are very bright. But the business has just sort of tanked since Trump became president. It just went straight downhill. Everybody feels comforted for whatever reason, at least that crowd of people do. So our business has really, really fell off. So we've reinvented now and things are moving back up, right? When I can talk about at a break or something how we repositioned and why we're back in a growth mode again. But it really did affect things. So all we had a choice to do was to figure out how to do a better job selling products to customers we already had, how we could acquire more a little bit differently, and just be much more efficient marketers, right, than we had been. We've been riding a trend that was really, really easy to ride. The whole world was scared to death. Constant television telling you the world's coming to the end. I was just riding the trend, right? It was fantastic. But once that gravy train slowed down, we didn't have time to pivot. We had to be more efficient with our marketing. So it's kind of been a blessing. I said, I think in the sales letter that I wrote for here, if any of you read it, it said how this guy totally screwed up my business and why I'm so grateful that he did. Because it really made us better marketers, as most things do. Most of the time when you have a challenge, it makes you a little bit better. So I found this quote. It was pretty cool. Not following up with your prospects is the same as filling up a bathtub without putting a stopper in the drain first. So what we decided to do, we really looked at what can we do to get through this rough patch, right? We're not doing a very good job. We weren't doing a very good job. We're doing a great job at acquiring customers. We're doing a great job at getting money out of them immediately, but we weren't doing a great job in constantly communicating with them, both from a member standpoint for retention, but especially from a follow-up sales standpoint. So we sat down and said, okay, how are all the other ways that we could communicate with our clients? And now how can we make those methods support the email campaigns that we're running? So the reason today is all about email is because email is still the workhorse of what we do. It's still the workhorse of what you do, and it probably will be into the near future. But collectively, the other 7 methods of communication on some days now, not every day, but on some days for us, are making up as much as 50% of our post-acquisition revenue. It used to be 100% of everything. We made money acquiring, and then we made money from email, and that was it. Today, on certain days, we'll make as much money with a combination of SMS, push notification, ringless voicemail, etc. Right? So, and Amanda Dobson's to blame for to credit for most of that, and you'll see a lot of her tomorrow. It's much prettier than me. You'll enjoy the day much better, I'm sure. But we'll talk about that. So going back and doing the research, how else can we communicate? I kind of ran across, these older advertising methods. These guys who come from Madison Avenue that we all as direct response advertisers kind of giggle. These guys are brand advertisers. Their industry is way bigger than ours. For years and years, I made fun of them. Today, I really admire them and I watch everything that they do. But the way that advertising works, brand advertising works, or political advertising works, or has for the last several years, there's been a combination of radio, television, and print, outdoor being in print, that worked in concert, right, to build cumulative audiences. So if you pay the attention to large-scale media over the years, these companies like Clear Channel have came into town. They'll buy the television station, a radio station or two, the billboard company, and the newspaper, right? And they're constantly banging a message along between all these three devices, knowing that if they can get into your head in numerous ways and numerous modalities, that they cement the message they're trying to get across firmer for their advertiser, right? So this has been called the CUME, or the cumulative audience. And that this is all irrelevant, sort of, to what we're going to talk about, but it's good to understand. So all this runs on something called market points. So if an advertiser comes in and says, I want 100 points. I want 100 points in Cleveland for my Dollar Shave Club, right? That means that they want every person in Cleveland to hear about Dollar Shave Club once. 10 points is usually a test. So they're going to go to the market, test 10% of the audience. I want 10% of the audience to hear about us, and we'll see if this advertising makes an impact. 100 points is reach. 1,000 points is typically saturation. That means I want everybody in my market, normally this is geographic, right? I want everybody in my market to hear my message 10 times. 10 times. So somewhere between the 8th and the 10th time, branding happens, right? You begin to recognize the brand. But that will go out of your brain relatively quickly, right? Good morning. Hey. So that'll go out of your brain relatively quickly. 10,000 points cements a brand. That means that everyone in a market area or a niche has heard your message 100 times. So if you guys follow digital marketers, who have you seen, do you think, 100 times in your news feed? Anybody? Ryan Dice. Frank Kern, probably, right? How many more people? Not many, right? So who has the brands? Who are the biggest brands probably in that business? Ryan and Frank. They spend the most money over the longest period of time constantly getting in front of you. Our argument is any of you could probably be as successful in a shorter period of time by hitting your market with multimodality approach, right? Because today, the other people that do this, by the way, are political. Political does it really hard. So if you're running for, like, say, the governor of Georgia, you'd want everybody in Georgia to hear your message at least 100 times prior to the election cycle. But you have a very limited period of time to do it. And what political campaigns realize is they start slow and they get more intense right before election day because they want to be in your face right before you go to make your vote. Because their whole process is finite. It all falls down on one day, right? Your business is not, typically. So in your business, you're going to want to continually do this. So today, everything's changed. The theory is the same, right? The theory is the same as it always has been in brand advertising. Isn't my little guy cute? But the modalities have changed. Sequential email is still the workhorse of the whole industry. But SMS text really coming up strong. I talked with a company a couple days ago, the financial space. They're doing 20% of their post revenue now in SMS text. I'm betting that within 12 more calendar months, that's going to be in the 30 to 40% range. SMS is really opening up for a lot of good reasons. There's still limitations on the platforms, and Amanda will talk about that a lot tomorrow. But SMS is really opening up. We just had our biggest record day on SMS a couple days ago. We sent an SMS, and in 40 minutes, it made what? $7,000 in 40 minutes. So the open rate's like 97%. The read rate, the reaction rate's 45% on these things. Email was never that good in its very best day, right? So there's some legalities and things you have to work with and platform limitations. But SMS is big. Push notifications like Push Crew. If you publish a lot of media, and even if you don't, there are other ways to use Push Crew even if you don't publish a lot of media. But if you publish a lot of media, Push Crew is very good for us. We can send out a push now, in a lot of cases, make $1,000, $2,000 just with a push notification. Facebook bots. We'll have Mackenzie here tomorrow to talk about Facebook bots, along with Amanda and I. There are people in our industry, we're doing okay with bots, right? So there are people in our industry that are killing it with bots, doing much better with bots than they are with SMS and email. Retargeting, we see as another list. And my partner Ryan's been talking about this for a long time, and to be honest with you, we just didn't quite catch on to that as quickly. There are some limitations in our business because we have inventory, and sometimes we have a product that comes into stock and goes out of stock. It's a little more challenging than if you're in an information-based business, for instance, where you always have consistent inventory, or a product that you make a consumer goods product where you can make as much as you want. Right? Retargeting is a really effective tool, but for the purpose of this conversation here, I want us to think of retargeting as another list. So the people you have pixeled on your list are another list, right? So each one of these places, SMS is a list, email is a list, push is a list, bots are a list, retargeting is a list. But the objective of this exercise is all these different modalities support the email campaigns that you're running, right? The primary objective is to make the email campaign perform better, right? Voicemail. Who here is using ringless voicemail? So only a few people in the room. It's an incredibly effective tool. It's becoming a little less effective. If you're international, it's not as good, but it's still a very effective tool, especially in the B2B space. If you're dealing with B2B, it's very effective. People tend to check their voicemails. Most consumers, a lot of consumers don't. Facebook groups for us are another list, right? It's another list. They're our most active people. We can preview items to them. We can get their opinion in advance. We can pre-sell. We can find out feedback points and sales points from that group. It's another list. And then finally, good old-fashioned snail mail, right? Still very effective. I know there are a few people in our room right now I could point at that make millions of dollars a year sending letters in the mail. Some of the wealthiest people I know still do that, right? I think a lot of us have looked at snail mail as being old technology, boring, dull, whatever, and risky. And it is, right? Direct mail is much more risky than sending an email, for instance, right? But the thing to keep into consideration in your mind is if people are responding in these other modalities that you're working in, if they're responding in email, if they're responding in text, they're responding in push, but they haven't quite pushed over yet, a direct mail piece will almost always make you money, right? Almost always make you money when sent out to your current responders. So what I hope by the end of the day, you guys will be thinking, or by the end of tomorrow, you guys will be thinking, you'll be thinking differently. Yeah, one message, one action. So we only want one message to go out. We only want them to do one thing. But we're going to deliver that message a multiple of ways, right? Volvo wants you to buy a Volvo, right? They're going to send you, they definitely would send you an email. They definitely put a Volvo on a billboard. They definitely put a Volvo radio commercials on. They'll definitely have TV commercials for Volvos. They'll definitely have Facebook ads for Volvos. Bigger companies understand that not everybody consumes information in exactly the same way. But when you're doing those things in concert, they're all supporting one another. The television ad is supporting the radio ad. The radio ad is supporting the billboard. And that's what we're trying to get at. So here might be a sample of what a week might look like. Instead of just saying, I'm going to send out an email on Tuesday and we're going to do our promo, maybe we'll send out an email Tuesday and Wednesday and we're going to do this promo this week. You might send out an SMS message on Monday saying, hey, be sure to check your email tomorrow and look for this subject line. I'm going to be launching a new thing. It's going to be awesome. Check it out, right? On Tuesday, you might send the email. On Wednesday, you follow up with a voice recording that says, hey, Matt, yesterday I sent you an email. The subject line was this. Be sure to check it out. And we'll talk about voice mail and how ringless voicemail needs to sound really, really, really natural, right? That's one of the biggest pushes. We were at Andrews recording with our guy, one of our guys right now for one of our memberships, and he was recording a welcome message for one of our memberships. Ringless voicemail, by the way, is great for welcome messages. And he was very stiff, right? And he's a nice guy. He's like, hello, this is Tim with the Family Protection Association. I wanted to call and wish you a congratulations and tell you there are all sorts of benefits to your membership, such as, right? When's the last time you said such as in a conversation? Nobody does that. So I went back and I'm recording. Hey man, this is Tim over at FPA. I just saw your order come down. I'm totally stoked you're a new member, man. Hey, listen, I'm sorry I missed you, but I'm taking the kids right now to the soccer practice. I'm taking my kids right now to soccer practice. I'm sorry I missed you. Hey, listen, hop in the Facebook group right now and say hi to me. This is my handle. I can't wait to talk to you, man. Congratulations on being a member. Welcome to the family. Hey, everybody in there is real friendly. They're going to love you. So, hey, I got to go. All right, take care. Bye. Right? See the difference? So how many times have you called somebody and said, hey, dude, I just sent you an email. Go check your email real quick. Right? How many times have you done that? That's the ideal voicemail message for follow-up in this situation. So you do the reminder on Wednesday. I'm not saying this as you follow this. This is a sample of some campaigns that we've done. Thursday, you start your push notifications. Actually, I would have started them before now. Friday, you send a snail mail to anybody who's engaged in anything Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Saturday, you do a Facebook Live to your group. And Sunday, you do your email newsletter, right? That has a mention of the thing that went on last week and teases what goes on next. These are some ideas. This is just an idea of how you might use Octopus moving forward. Can everybody see how that might be a benefit to your campaigns you're running? All right, cool. So yeah, there's a little, you'll get these slides, by the way, so you don't have to photograph everything. But this is basically the general idea, and we'd be retargeting and push notifying the whole time through this entire campaign. You can see the top and the bottom. So what's in it for you if you follow this idea? Your brand becomes omnipresent. You set it up one time, and you forget it. I mean, it's pretty simple. If you can start, what you got to start doing that will be a little bit different for you that we're doing now, is you have to sit down with your team and you have to build a campaign. Versus just waking up in the morning and saying, what are we going to mail today, right? It has to be an orchestrated campaign. So it's a little more work, but you can see in campaigns where we've done this, like we did a campaign for this knife we called the Wolf. And we teased the campaign to the group. We had teaser videos on YouTube. We were retargeting our current audience before the thing was ever buyable. And as we went through this process, and we were only doing maybe half of this stuff then, as we went through that process, that campaign performed 300 to 400% better than a typical campaign would perform for us because we hit these people in multimodalities. You got guys like Ezra Firestone who've done a really good job at teasing products pre-launch with retargeting to his list. And they've proven it by taking the list and retargeting half the list and not retargeting the other half prior to the release. The retargeted side of the list does 80% of the revenue at release. So retargeting is a list, right? Your list is a list. Your retargeting pixels are a list, right? This brands you as modern. So if you're in a business where you want to have your business acquired, or I was speaking a couple of weeks ago to realtors. So this is a great methodology for realtors or people, real estate professionals, because if you're a realtor and you're hitting these people constantly in every direction, who's the best realtor in town? You are. Who's the most aggressive guy? You are. Who's modern? Who's the most aggressive? It also brands you as responsive. You're in people's face constantly. They're not worried about whether they're going to be able to contact you after the sale is made or not. They're seeing you all over the place all the time. And it 10x's your touch rate. So by following Octopus, you can 10x your touch rate. We do this a lot when we're acquiring businesses. If we 10x the touch rate of the business, we're going to 10x the growth of the business eventually. It's a lagging indicator, right? But if you're making the most contacts, you're going to win. Anybody ever sell belly to belly in the room? Like call on the phone or go walking in selling vacuum cleaners or anything like that? Only a few of you? And the rest of you just a bunch of wimps. I'm just kidding. But the people who have done that before realize it's a tough business, right? But some of the best marketers I've ever met in my life have been belly-to-belly salespeople, car salesmen, insurance salesmen, stockbrokers that call on the phone. And they always say in the stock business, if you're really good on the phone, make a lot of calls. If you suck on the phone, make more calls, right? Because that's the only way you're going to overcome that problem is by having more touch. right? So this gives you the ability, you can't just email somebody 10 times a day, but you can email them, you can SMS them, you get where I'm saying, right? So a word on timing. This is really important. This is not covered very well in the rest of this, in the rest of the programming, so I want to cover it up front. There's nothing more important to all of these campaigns than recency. Nothing, right? To you guys who are waiting to contact your leads to a later period of time, no matter how late that period of time is, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you what, I got corrected on something. So a word on timing. Analysis of 2,200 American companies found those people attempted to reach their leads within an hour are 7 times likelier to have a meaningful conversation. That means 7 times likelier to make a sale within 1 hour. With decision makers, if they waited 60 minutes, just 60 minutes, either an hour or 60 minutes, either one, the result was roughly the same. So I've seen real proof of this. So Walter Birch sent me, I posted this to Facebook the other day when I was doing this research. And Walter Birch, who's one of our war room members, incredibly successful lead generator, one of the best in the world, I think. He and Michael Taggart, his partner. They generate leads for the mortgage consolidation business, debt consolidation business, credit repair. I mean, the hardest freaking markets in the world, these guys are generating leads for. And he sent me back a correction on Facebook, and he said, the degradation can be 75% between 10 minutes and an hour. So in the insurance business, if they don't get with them within 10 minutes, they lose like 75% of the effectiveness of the lead. If you guys want a great experiment, write these 2 things down. Go generate a lead on a Place for Mom and LendingTree. Go to those 2 places and go enter your information in saying you want a mortgage or you want a nursing home for your mom. And watch what happens. You're going to get a call within 30 seconds of that lead going in. They use something called click to call. You can jot that down if you want. Lead to call. Lead to call with the number 2. Lead to call. It's an application you put in your forms. It's a bit of a booger to integrate, but what it does is as soon as that form comes in that has a phone number in it, you're going to get a phone call that says, hello, this is lead to call. You have a new lead from this landing page. So you're going to know which landing page it is. And to connect to this call, press 1. You press 1, they're going to immediately dial the customer back out the opposite direction, right? So the phone's going to be ringing. When I did it for my mom, when I was looking for a place for my mom, I called, and while I still had my cell phone in my hand, the phone rang within 30 seconds. And it was a really smart lady, and she's like, well, bless your heart. And she was just so kind, which was their model, right? But timeliness is really, really, really important. So if you're wondering why some of your campaigns may not be working, timeliness is probably the number one reason that follow-up campaigns fail. The number one reason follow-up campaigns fail. The good news is everybody sucks at this, right? So what's up, Barry? The good news is everybody sucks at this, right? So this was Drift. They sent leads to 433 companies. Only 7% responded in the first 5 minutes after lead submission. More than half didn't respond within 5 days. So your competition sucks. Don't be them. And some of you, I promise you, half the people in this room are not following up to a lead within 5 days. There's some leads that are slipping through your system that you're not responding to within 5 days. And you're wondering why your business isn't growing. This is the primary reason why, right? 7%. I'm going to talk about trade shows in a little bit, which sounds like a weird thing to talk about at an email conference, but it's not. But I went to a trade, Andrew and I talk about this a lot. I went to a printing trade show in Chicago 2 years ago. They sell massive printing equipment. I went with a $250,000 budget to buy. I had 250 grand in my pocket ready to spend. And I counted out 100 business cards, and I gave out 100 business cards at the event. I'm interested in your piece of equipment. I think it's awesome. Here's my card. Call me. I want to buy one, basically. Two responses within 1 week. I ended up with 5 total responses. One guy called me 7 months after the show. Hey, is this Perry? Yeah. Hey, I met you at the Print World show, and you said you might be interested in my Ricoh printer. I said, dude, that was 7 months ago. I've spent all my money now, right? Which I really had. But try to go buy things. It's hard to buy shit, right? Businesses make it hard. So if you can really help your guys just by following up quickly, showing them, because the quick follow-up not only gets you the contact, it gets you the confidence of the customer. You're on it. You're on top of it, man. You're it, right? We want to deal with companies that are it. How many people get a call? How many people got a call last week, legitimately a call in your industry of somebody wanting to sell you something? 5? 6? How much buying power do you think there is in this room? That's a joke. You guys should be getting bombarded on a daily, right? Just sign up for my list and see what happens. Okay. All right. So let's get started. I did forget disclaimers. I do want to say a couple things before we get started. One, I apologize in advance if I offend anybody. Sometimes my language is not perfect. 2, I apologize if I offend anybody. 3, I said that twice because it's going to happen. 3, anything that I talk about that's legal, I'm not a lawyer. Please seek legal advice for that. If I tell you about a result that we had, that doesn't mean your result may not be, maybe not a typical result. Your results may vary, et cetera, et al. All right. So, yeah, do you mean that wasn't a promise? All right, cool. So what makes you money? So this is the point. So why email? We're going to spend a whole day today on email. The entire day today is just on email. So why is it so important? It's the highest form of revenue that you can get, right? The dollars spent on email return the highest degree of return of any other method right now, okay? So, in fact, television returns a 2-to-1 ratio on average, 3-to-1 for online media, direct mail 5-to-1. 5-to-1 on average, still better for direct mail than anything else, but email delivers a 39-to-1 national average. $39 in revenue comes in for every $1 spent on an email campaign. So the better that we can make those email campaigns, the more money we're going to make. How many of you send emails to make money? Raise your hand. Almost everybody, right? So I think that's true with almost all of our businesses. Almost all of our businesses recognize this, yet we approach it for the most part in a very unscientific way. And you know, if I'm honest, I mean, how many of you guys in the last week have had this conversation? Dude, what are we going to mail today? Right? What are we going to mail today? When I'm talking to an audience of 2.1 million, I'm talking to 10 football stadiums full of people every day. And we still do it. Dude, what are you mailing today? Shit, I don't know. Matt Swan. Matt's way better at it than I am. But we did it, Ryan and I did it for years in Digital Marketer. No idea what we're going to mail today. And an email day is like a hotel room. You can't sell it twice tomorrow. You got today to get your money out, and you better be planning. If I called you guys tomorrow, like, Marco, how big's your list? 30,000 people. 38,000 people. So, and I know you're in a high-end group. But if I called you tomorrow, so 38,000 people, it's probably like, I don't know, like a UCLA stadium or something, right? This Staples Center is probably 20,000, right? So if I called you tomorrow and said, hey, Marco, next Friday, I need you to speak in front of the whole audience before a Lakers game. You can say whatever you want to say, but you need to be ready. Would you think about what you were going to say? Fuck, you would too. You would. You'd think about it. You'd want to get the most out of that time in front of that audience that you possibly could. But we tend to do that every day in our emails, and it's an afterthought, right? So all I'm asking you to do here is plan a little bit and see what happens.